Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations Turnabout Ablaze. In the previous episode, Lang had accused Von Karma of being responsible for Damask 2's murder and the weapon switch between the two embassies. In this episode, we are going to counter-argue that. So, if you like what you see, leave a like down below, comment if you have anything to say, subscribe to me if you haven't already, and share with your friends so they can enjoy this for themselves. Let's get going. Whenever Alabaster Knives was using Babel to murder Mr. Cochin. Hello? What the hell? The murder weapon in Damask and the killing of Damask 2's is Babel's Prima Duck statue. Somehow those two objects were able to penetrate the two countries in impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. Oh, it's only four. The only things across the border are the Prima Duck statue and the knife. I should hardly think that those two are the only two items, Agent Lang. Oh, okay. So what else crossed the statue? Let's see. Knife. Prima Duck statue. Nah, that wouldn't make sense. Flowers. Guitar pick. Fires, chopsticks. Wire. Would it be that simple? Take no risks. Objection! That was not the right... Here we go again. Hi, how are you guys doing? I'm doing fine. Dealing with crappy software. You know, the same old thing. Kinda wish this emulator wouldn't lag every time I started a recording. That would make the music and the game much more enjoyable, I would think. Save states are nice, but for some reason it just doesn't respond. Raspberry tea. Oh, well then. Oh. Impenetrable security, huh? Take. Didn't think so. What else crossed? What else crossed? Money. Document. Knife. Am I really that dense? Okay. Object. Fucking hold it. I concur that this knife crossed over the country lines. Good, but that's not the only thing that did. Let's forget about the other weapon. The knife was the only one. The murder weapon in the killing of Damask 2 is Babel's Prima Duck statue. Hold it! So he's saying that the Prima Duck statue was also brought over by Francisca. Like I told you before, it's the only way it makes sense. Hold it! How exactly did you bring it over? I haven't figured that out yet. Huh. It's a rather weak statement considering how sure you are. Maybe there's one thing I do know for sure. Somehow these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. Hold it! Impenetrable? I should hardly think so. Not so fast. You've seen the top of the wall between the two countries, right? Who in the world could cross over that? Yeah, not even I could climb over that thing with all that barbed wire. To get into either embassy is through the doors in the Theatre Neutralis. So the only way for the knife and Prima Duck statue to traverse the two countries is through the security camera equipped well-guarded doors. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. Hold it! Was Francisa really the only person who have traveled between the two countries? According to the guards at both doors, she's the only one to go back and forth. The sister was already in Ablaze when the autographs you showed. And then, just before you guys found Mr. Kochi's body, she entered Babel. The Greek can assume that's when she brought the knife into Babel. Objection! Then how do you explain the Prima Duck statue? I haven't quite figured that out yet. However, the fact that the two weapons crossed the border proves that the killer must have also traveled across the country lines. The only things to cross the... oh. Embassy guide, Coach's body, Yadagross's key. Passion flowers. Swapped. Apple, Yadagross's key, alabaster knife. Paper document, Ablaze ink, Cochin, Babel's Prima Duck statue is fake. Oh, it was that simple. Okay, objection. I must be losing my touch. I don't think I should be playing this much longer tonight. Agent Lang, those two items are not the only two to cross the border tonight. Oh? The Mask 2 was killed with Babel's Prima Duck statue, yes. But if that's the case, then tell me, where did Alabaster Prima Duck statue go? To Babel! Precisely. And if the two statues really were switched, then this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point. Which means that a total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies. I guess so. But you know what? Doesn't matter the number of items, only that the deceased is the only one who could have done it. Because the only person who went back and forth between Alabasta and Babel is her. Is that really true? Was there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there was definitely another person. One who paid a visit to both sides of the wall. Objection! Is that really so, Agent Lang? What lousy time to try to bluff your way out of this? Just what the guards said along with the security camera's footage. You're not going to overturn my hypothesis that easily. Objection! But suppose there was some other way than through the theater doors. What other way? The other entity that managed to cross the border unharmed. If I pointed out, it would open a whole new possibility. Now I hesitate to bring this out. As long as this entity exists, the impossible road becomes a possibility. Looks like you've got some clever idea in mind. I do, and I can show it to you through a single piece of evidence. Fine then. Let's see this piece of evidence that will show this other route. This piece of evidence will show us another way to move between the two countries. So I was on the right track. I just tend to jump the gun a lot. Take that! Agent Lang, I'm sure you are familiar with this unforgettable photo. That supernatural photo? Like I said before. Humans can't fly. No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. Don't start claiming that shi-na somehow grew wings either. I wouldn't dream of claiming that. And I won't allow you to take back what you said then either. I'll say it again. It's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. So you better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. Ugh! How can I prove that he flew to the... Wait. Not humanly possible. Eureka! Very well. You will have your explanation. Sounds like you have a good idea simmering inside that head of yours. Let's hear it. The face hidden within this photo's blurry trailed shadow is... Not humanly possible. Not humanly possible. It's the... I know I'm on a roll, but... Not humanly possible. Take that! Naturally, the shadow is the third smuggled object. The primitive statue replica. You can't be serious! Nyotagrasu, or rather Callisto Yu, dressed as Agent shi-na, was inside Babel. She dressed the replica statue up in clothes and launched it through the air. Not so fast. Mr. Prosecutor! That's not a very crucial bit in your explanation. I know I did. She launched it through the air. How exactly did she do that? He's literally baring his fangs at me. But he has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? As long as this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. Which reminds me, didn't you say this earlier? Hey sis, remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech? He called you into his office, right? So before the murder, Francisca was called here, right into this very room. If that's the case, then there may be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Lang, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Miss Von Karma. Oh, what are you up to now, pretty boy? Hello, you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred. Miss Von Karma had been in this room because Ambassador Alba had called for her. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer. I guess I did say something like that. In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask her what her side of the story is. Do you really think a criminal would tell us the honest truth? How dare you! As I said numerous times, there is absolutely no proof I am the killer. Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too. I do. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point in time. Which is why I would like to hear about your movements in this room. Francisco, I feel that I still don't have enough information, which is exactly why your testimony is incredibly important to this outcome of the case. Alright? So what would you like me to talk about? I'd like you to please testify your movements in this room until the murder occurred. Alright, let's try this your way for a change. If what she has to say turns out to be a complete waste of time, I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl no! Huh. As you wish. There it is. That's what I was looking at. Movements in Ablaze. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. After I saw the samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security detail. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back to Ambassador Alba by his office. Switched to 2 in the by. Francisco, I wanted to make this very clear from the beginning. So what I wish to confirm is only the time span in which you were in this office. Before the murder occurred, is that correct? Yes, of course. I see. For now, the only way I can see... Apologies for us to break out of this situation is to ask Francisco about your testimony in more detail. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. Hold it! I thought your duty was to fact-find anything you could about the smuggling ring. Yes, that was my job. But upon hearing that the Yacht had sent a calling card to this embassy, Ambassador Alba called upon us to protect the embassy instead. That incident 7 years ago. Or have you forgotten what happened here back then? Anything related to that case we were involved in appears to be rather painful for her. It's not exactly one I can readily forget myself. Huh. It looks like you remember the case after all. Of course I do. I inspected every location, every possible escape route, and every aspect of the police's security detail. I did all that, and then after that... After I saw the Steel Samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office... Hold it! So you were at the theater as well? Yes, and I suppose you were also there as well, watching that stage show? Well, yes, so Francisco was there. Well, after the stage show was over and I saw the Steel Samurai off, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on security detail. Or situation. Hold it! Why did you need to confirm the decree of preparation for even the speech? For security's sake, of course. Whatever reasons could I have had? No one knew just how Yacht had planned on getting in, right? Yes, I suppose you're right. And in the end, Yacht did choose to appear in the Rose Garden, even if it did turn out to be nothing more than a shadow. Ugh. Who would have thought that she would use a shadow? Yak! Calm down, Francisca. She must be still nursing a grudge over the fact that she couldn't figure it out herself. Anyway, there was no one in the rose garden. We were aware that the speech was going to start soon afterwards. After all, the preparations were in place, so I was called back to Ambassador Alba to his office. Hold it! At that time, the Musketeer's body had yet to be found in this room, is that correct? That's right. But as Ambassador Alba was here, one could hardly miss the Valedor's presence. Couldn't say anything but out of getting arrested. How do we know you're not lying? Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you. Seriously? Like you keep telling me. When I arrived at this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill, watering his plants. I can attest to that. I remember speaking with the lovely lady around that time here in my office. Alright then, add that statement to your testimony then. And let's hear some detail. So Ambassador Alba was in this room at the time, was he? When I arrived, Ambassador Ablaze was watering the flowers on the windowsill. Hold it! For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Ablaze was watering his plants at the windowsill? What do you mean by that? The entrance to this room is on the side, however the window is on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you entered the room, his body would have been like a wall. He would have been blocking your view of what he was doing, is that not correct? I suppose it was a bit hard for me to see around him, but fortunately for me, Ambassador Abba is not an immovable wall. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with the watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe that he was watering his plants, right? I suppose. After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained them himself and was growing them with the utmost care, you know? Yes. The plants in this room, they're all like my children. The passion flowers in the flower box on the windowsill are growing beautifully too. All 4 of them are in full bloom. Swan Karma, what did you say just now? I said that the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement do you not understand? What do I not understand? I do not understand why a certain thing is the way it is. I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony. Very well. There were 4 large passion flowers in bloom in the flower box. Now, if we look at the picture, I remember this quite well because 4 was kind of stood out to me. I actually thought there were 3, but there are actually only 2 flowers. So, Von Karma, how do you explain the 2 to 4 difference? Objection! Francisca, for some old reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence. It does appear that way. Ha! I knew it! I knew we couldn't trust your word, sis. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma like this? Yes, sir. You keep this up, she's gonna get taken away, sir. Ah! All I've done was state what I saw. I've not made a single mistake in my testimony. And for this, I am still under suspicion for murder. Is this the number of flowers really all that important at this junction, Miles? the very least, it is a contradiction in the enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. Let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What's the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove? I believe the answer to that will become clear if we were to examine that flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy. They're my beloved flowers. I have grown them with the utmost care. So I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth. I understand. Okay, so we're actually going to end this off here. In the next episode of Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations Turnabout Ablaze, we are going to go and examine the flower box. I will see you guys later.